All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Posted properly?
And the meeting's been posted according to law.
Roll call?
President Johnson.
Here?
Trustee Holm. Here. Trustee Nugent. Here. Trustee Renucci.
Here.
Trustee Smalley.
Here.
Trustee Wisniewski.
Here. Okay, we are going to do first a proclamation recognizing Clerk Lori Alexander's service. So I have a piece of paper here I have to read from. Lori knows how much I love paper. Proclamation, Village of East Troy, Wisconsin, in appreciation of Clerk Lori Alexander's dedicated service. The Village Board of the Village of East Troy, Walworth County, Wisconsin, proclaims as follows. Whereas Lori Alexander began her 19 years of service with the Village of East Troy in November of 2008 as the administrative assistant and accounting clerk, and whereas, because of a commitment to the village, hard work, and dedication, she later was promoted to deputy clerk in December of 2013, and clerk in January of 2020. And whereas Lori also exhibited a commitment to growth by regularly attending professional conferences and training, in November 2014, she earned a certified municipal clerk designation from the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And whereas throughout her employment with the Village of East Troy, she has acquired great institutional knowledge that has aided staff and village officials to efficiently make decisions and carry out official duties. And whereas we have great appreciation for the integral role of the municipal clerk for village operations, now therefore, the Board of Trustees of the Village of East Troy recognizes it is through values of has provided many meaningful years of service to the Village of East Troy. Be it proclaimed by the Board of Trustees that we hereby commend, honor, and congratulate Lori Alexander for her dedication, professionalism, and contributions to the Village of East Troy. We wish Lori many years of good health and happiness as she retires from the Village of East Troy and embarks on this new chapter of her life, proclaimed this 20th day of January 2025. Thank you. So just to add too, that Lori played a really integral part with the election back in November. I think we had our highest turnout ever, especially with absentee voting. So really appreciate all that you've done for us. I've learned so much from you too. Make sure I don't make mistakes as well. Keep me.
I will never make the mistake and use effect.
I got one in. All right. All right, we'll move on to comments because it was not part of the publicly noticed agenda. Upon conclusion of the citizen participation segment, members of the audience are not allowed further comment unless they're participating in a public hearing or if specifically allowed by a majority vote of the village board due to involvement in an agenda item. Going once. Going twice. Okay, I will close citizen participation. We'll move on to consent agenda. One motion and a second will approve all the following items. Any item may be pulled from the list and voted on separately. I'm going to start also asking, because sometimes people will want to pull an item when in fact they just have a question. Before anybody makes a motion, does anybody have a question on items 1 through 5 here?
I already asked my question.
Okay.
Thank I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to miscellaneous business. Item 1, consider request from the library board to release library impact fees for architectural plans to expand the library at the current location. There's a memo here from Eileen. So Eileen, anything you want to run through here? And then we have Mary can jump in from the library's perspective.
Yeah, I'll just quickly summarize. The library board is wishing to pursue a new plan for the library. They've explored other opportunities previous years, or I shouldn't say previous years, but in the past. Some of them included new locations and conjoined library and community center. They are now looking at expanding the library at their current location and reducing the number of community rooms because the community center is separate, at a separate entity. Previously, they have used impact fees for architectural design in 2015 and 2021, but as discussed, those were different plans. Currently, impact fees available are $122,532. In 2025, we do have impact fees expiring. We have $1,928, and in that fashion, and then they would seek proposals and come back to the board for final approval when they have the dollar amount.
Mary, anything you want to add?
Just to make sure clear, we're not in a position where we're looking for shovel going in the ground. But we're hoping that as time goes by and the Tri-Troy moves ahead, we want to be prepared that if the time comes that we can do it.
You want to have a direction of cost, possibly? I mean, you need a plan in order to know how much it's going to cost.
Exactly. Yeah.
And an update on the Tri-Troy piece, which factors into this. Mark Liberta called me on Friday. We're working to set up a meeting with the Wisconsin Counties Association, WCA, myself, Joe Clarkowski with the town of East Troy, Jerry Arnson, town of Troy, and Robin Voss and Tyler August. The WCA is on board. They understand now better what we're trying to do, and they're prepared to sponsor that and request. And so we're, I've made Robin Voss aware of that already, and this will also bring Tyler August into it as well. So we're trying to schedule that meeting with all those people.
You'd have it at your East Troy Breakfast Club.
I don't have a breakfast club, no. So I'll make a motion to approve, let's see, where do we have recommended motion? I guess I will make a motion to approve release of the impact fees for the architectural purposes that the library is requesting.
I'll second it.
Questions or discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, consider a 3-party planning contract with WisDOT and Strand Associates for the East Troy to Mukwonago multi-use path. Eileen?
So this is the final step in the process before we can actually begin meeting and talking about the planning phase of the project. We had to do the same thing for the Highway 120 multi-use trail. There's a contract with the 3 parties, obviously, that's what it's called, with Strand Associates, WisDOT, and the village. The amount in the contract is just slightly less than what was projected in the application, so we're good with that. The one thing I want to bring to the board's attention is we will be paying for 100% of the costs. It is a reimbursement grant, so we would be then reimbursed the 80% from the state, and then that 2/3 of that 20% share from the other municipalities.
I have a question. In regards to this, I know we discussed about the cost splitting and the municipalities involved and everything, but on page 3 of 3, it said agency coordination, and Walworth County's in the bottom there. Now, is Walworth County got any skin in the game, or no?
Not financially, they do not. I mean, obviously, a portion of the trail falls within Waukesha County and a portion falls within Walworth County. But they aren't financially contributing anything.
But we have to get them to sign off on it.
Where are you seeing the sign off on it?
There'll likely be right-of-way coordination.
Thank you.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. I just wanted, because it really wasn't discussed a lot. That's why I asked.
They've verbally committed to being in, both counties have committed to being in support, but they are not committing any financial.
I'll make a motion to approve the three-party contract with WisDOT and Strand Associates for planning of the East Troy to McGuanago multi-use trail.
I'll second.
Questions or discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, consider request from the City of Burlington to transfer a Class B combination liquor license. I received another letter a few weeks ago from the Mayor of Burlington requesting this, so we put this on the agenda today. Eileen's memo talks about, we last kind of discussed this back in 2023, and Eileen's recommendation that we not do this, and I'm in agreement with staff's recommendation here.
I'll make a motion to decline the request to transfer a Class B combination liquor license to the city of Burlington.
I'll second it.
Question? Go ahead.
I just would like to mention, from some discussion that I had earlier today, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but after everything is all said and done and licenses, we have either a regular license or a reserve license available. And I guess the number of regular licenses never changes from 6, and the reserve, we get added every time we add more population. But from what I understand, that right now, as it sits, we only have one license available as a reserve license if another business wishes to open in the village. And 2,
We have two,
We
in the
have-
memo, I mentioned there's 2, because there's the one that belonged to the Chinook restaurant, and they have since closed, and then we have one available. So
right.
for a new, for a building that doesn't exist as a bar or restaurant, you would have one extra, but.
That's kind of what I'm
the
alluding to,
assumption
because
is
we're
the other one
hoping,
would open.
I'm hoping that somebody goes back into that place that was closed, that was a nice restaurant there. But that would leave us just one if somebody else wanted to open up a different restaurant or a bar or whatever.
That's correct.
And I think we'd be cutting ourselves short if we let that one go.
Yep. So it's a motion and a second to decline. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to ordinances and resolutions. Item 1, Resolution 2025-02, resolution to appoint trustee Jim Holm as acting village president to serve during any temporary absence of the village president. With previously this was John, and since we did a proclamation, John is enjoying the warm weather now. Lori is freezing. And so I called Jim, and while Jim was freezing in a ice fishing shanty in Canada, he agreed. So that's what the resolution is.
So I'll make a motion, we approve Resolution 2025-2.
I'll second that.
Any questions or comments from Jim Holm?
I want to be clear.
I think so, and I have been praying for good health for Matt. It's an honor. I feel nervous and uncomfortable, but that's okay. I'll have to pay attention. And I watched a Plan Commission meeting online this week just to.
You just have to make sure you speak loud enough so we can hear you.
All right, all right. In terms of a procedural question, I'm assuming I would abstain from this resolution, correct?
You can if you want. We got enough people here to force it either way. So
If you want to be humble, you can abstain.
Well,
all right. Any other questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll record Jim as abstaining. Thank you, Jim. Now to schedule all my vacations.
No.
All right, on to staff reports. Item 1, December financial reports. We have the December financial report, the variance report, and the airport financial reports. Any questions for Eileen here? While I let 40 flip through his papers to see if he has a question.
I actually called about my question.
Audit timeline to fully close out 2024?
Audit week is the first full week of February. So, I mean, it's going to obviously take some time from that point for them to finalize things, but I would say that I would hope that we would have a draft at the beginning of April.
Item 2, DPW 2024 fourth quarter report. Jason, anything you want to highlight or questions anybody has for Jason?
Well, it just occurred to me I better get going on the PSC report if that's due the first week of February. But quarter 4, another busy quarter. A couple of projects you've seen on there before, like the booster station pumps and facilities planning, multi-use trail phase 2. That's kind of all ongoing stuff. Some newer projects are the sanitary lining for 25. We're going to repaint the exterior of the big water storage tank this year. We did some sidewalk work in fall, primarily on Division Street, but we did do some in Sterling Oaks as well. Let's see, crack filling. I was going to mention a lot of this stuff you guys see is very repetitive from year to year, but a lot of our world is very cyclical. We do, a lot of the same things every year. So one thing Trustee Holm had asked me about earlier is the sanitary sewer cleaning. It's towards the bottom there. And I show in the report there that we did 45,000 feet of sanitary main, and we shoot to do about 25% of our system annually. And just back of the napkin math, that 45,000 feet represents about 40% of our system. So we did a real good job with that this year, between what we do and what contractors did. So, and staff set that. Actually, Doug was involved with setting that benchmark of 25% in our system, so it's working out good. Hopefully we can continue to do that annually. And then obviously there was quite a bit of training this last quarter. And then one thing I did want to point out that Denny Largent, one of our newer employees, did receive the Newcomer of the Year at the wastewater convention in October, and we were very proud of that. And I was up there to see Denny get the award, and he was presented the award by Tom, which was really kind of cool. So.
You should
Yeah.
give him, Mark, congratulations on that.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Just as you said, a lot of just maintenance, and that's great because you're keeping things from then being problems that we have to deal with. But one thing that I like here, creating standard operating procedure documents, documenting what it is we do.
I said to Trustee Renucci earlier today, I said, I wish someone would have handed me a binder when we took over, but that didn't happen.
It's like the old scouting, leave it better than you found it. So thank you for taking the time. I know documentation is never everybody's favorite thing to do, and there's always, I should go work on this other thing. So thanks for making that a priority. All right, any questions for Jason? Okay. Fourth quarter, 2024 fourth quarter police department report. Chief, anything you want to highlight? Questions for Chief?
Crime up or down?
I think you can see it's down. I put in stuff that we send into the state every month that I have to send in. And then, so I think that 5-year outlook, I think I printed that out for you after this year. You can see crimes went down since 2020. So, yeah, it's down about 40% from 2020. So it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it looks, I like the breakdown underneath the graph, like
Yeah.
against persons, property, and society.
You can kind of see, like, we're from 122 to 66, so it's gradually went down. And I think you see that throughout the nation, too. They pretty much say that crime's going down right now, so it's a good thing. We're with everybody else, so
Is it related to the COVID?
I think that's why it was so
People's-
high for a while there, yeah. And now we're actually going down, so, yep.
And that we've got a new officer in the fourth quarter, so that's great.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yep.
All right, other questions for the chief? All right. Airport, fourth quarter report. Doug, anything you want to highlight? Or questions for Doug?
There's some graphs he wants to brag about.
Oh, I love.
They're very interesting.
Is that a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to me?
Yeah, for the graphs, we'll have to give a shout out to Eileen and Lori and Danette on that. They were very instrumental on that part, getting all the information together for me, so thank you for that. But as good, speaking about the graphs too, though, I mean, it does lay out the increase, the ups and downs of the fuel sales throughout the year. I mean, obviously, summertime, more flying, EAA, you get a larger volume and so forth. As far as the, from year to year, from 2010 to now, it had gone down steadily and it's starting to climb nicely, so we're very happy with that. The Jet A has stayed low. We did lose the Sky Knights as far as their big plane for flying, which has hurt for the Jet A, but we do have a couple other customers that do come in there and keep us afloat on that too, so our prices is the same as Burlington on a Jet A, or we actually are lower on Jet A. 100 low lead, we're the same as Burlington, so it does help quite a bit too, so.
Doug, could you refresh my memory? When exactly did you take over at the airport?
2023.
Summer of '23.
Summer,
Yeah,
yeah.
about end of May, beginning
Yeah.
of June.
Yep.
I'm impressed as all heck as far as for the fuel sales that we have coming in.
I mean, we're that blue line, we're back to the highest we were, and that was back in 2011.
Right, and that's, like you said, fuel pricing does help that a lot. Obviously, I think Walter was keeping the prices higher, which we heard a lot of people were leaving the airport to go to other airports to get fuel, which is kind of ridiculous. So it does help that you guys are very helpful with that and helpful with, Jason has been a very big part of that too, with making sure our prices are low and making sure that we're getting a good reputation as far as good fuel pricing and so forth.
Be nice to see the Burlington graph.
Little salt on the wound there. Yep, there we go. I have talked to him over there, and he is, like I said, he's aware of what we're doing, and like I mentioned to him too, we're not trying to bump somebody else out and take over. We're just trying to keep our main people here and people not flying from Burlington over to here or vice versa. We're just trying to keep everybody that's coming by and feel like they're not getting ripped off at the price of fuel. So.
Well, and the fact that we're not losing money on this either. I mean, with both 100 low lead and Jet A, we're almost 25,000 in profit. So
Right.
It's not like
Yep.
we're selling at a loss here.
No, and like Jason and I were talking too, with keeping up with the maintenance, we had a lot of issues with maintenance at the beginning, which also cuts into the profit. And now that things are being taken care of and we're not getting the big bills like we were getting before, getting caught up on things. So it does help quite a bit.
And you're still happy with Titan?
Yes, yep. They're every time I call them, if I have any questions, we need anything, they're very, very easy, very perceptive people to talk to. So they're very helpful.
they're good in response to?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. We order a tanker of fuel. He's our salesman, Bill. He's very helpful with if the price is going up as much as he can tell. He does relay that to us too, if we should hold off or if we should get it right away.
How's the new repair business going in?
Very well. Like I said, he's very very happy with the building. He's very happy with the location. He's very excited about the whole situation, and he's already booked up for 3 weeks out already. So he's doing very well.
You think this is going to help business at the airport and have more traffic maybe at the FBO?
I think so, because even already too, there's a gentleman that comes in out there right now that he flies the pipeline back and forth to all over the state of Wisconsin, I think Iowa and so forth, and he's just a visual fly back and forth. He was getting his repairs over in Burlington, and he was getting fuel from Burlington since he was over there getting repairs all the time, because it's, I think once a week he has to get an oil change because he flies so much. Now he's getting fuel from here because and Jim's doing the repairs. I mean, Doug's doing the repairs, so. That's just one instance, and hopefully it gets better after this throughout the summer, so. Any other questions?
No, I was just going back and just flipping back through the airport financial report from just a few items before. I mean, from a cash basis, I mean, excluding depreciation, it's a net profit of almost $44,000, which is a huge improvement. And as we said, about 25 of that is just from the fuel sales. So
Right.
And I'm sure some of these expenses, as you said, are higher due to maintenance and trying to catch up and things like that.
Right, yep. And like I said, we're trying to keep up on the maintenance of the FBO also. And this year, I think they're planning on, we're getting pricing on painting the outside of the FBO for appearance-wise. And there's some tuck pointing, which is also a maintenance item that has to be done. So, but there's things like even with the T hangers, there's stuff that has to be taken care of, and I'm able to do it. Time is kind of restrictive sometimes in weather, but if I'm able to do it, like I said, it does help to go in and fix some of the stuff up ahead of time and save some money some way.
Yeah, I want to echo kind of what Forty's talking about. You're turning the airport around, and you're making it, are on the path to making it self-sustainable. So thank you for all that you're doing. And
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for the support.
Yeah, and the pretty graphs.
Okay. Thank you. Eileen.
Anything else for Doug? All right, thank you. Okay,
Doug, you can take one attaboy out of petty cash, okay?
all right, committee reports, library board minutes from December 10th. Mary, anything you want to highlight?
Most of our discussion was about the ability to be able to use impact fees.
Any questions for Mary? All right, item 2, airport advisory committee minutes from December 9th. Jim, anything you want to add from talking to Doug here?
Just
Any questions for Jim? Okay. Item 3, draft plan commission minutes from January 13th. Questions for 40 or me? Anything you want us to highlight? All right. If not, I will make a motion to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Stay warm. No school tomorrow. Go start your cars. Yeah, there's no school tomorrow. It got canceled.